Every culture claims to know what a dragon is, but they do not describe the same creature. Wings or no wings, 4 legs or none, a monster to some, a guardian to others. Kana came to the archive looking for her lineage and found a question no one had answered.
Before the archive can identify you, it must answer a much older question.
What is a dragon?
14 forms, deities, monsters, and symbols, all later gathered under one name. Stand before it.
If a dragon means something different everywhere, then how do I ever find out what I am? Kana began with the most obvious possibility. Perhaps her lineage could be recognized by anatomy. But the first 5 traditions did not even agree on what a dragon body should be. The modern Western dragon is usually imagined as a powerfully built, 4-legged reptile with thick scales and 2 expansive bat-like wings. It often bears horns, a long snout, and a muscular tail. In medieval European stories, art, and heraldry, this creature increasingly came to embody chaos, greed, and spiritual corruption, an enemy to be overcome by saints, heroes, or righteous rulers. Christian iconography further linked the dragon with Satan and transformed fire-breathing, treasure-hoarding monsters into symbols of sin. But this familiar image was not present from the beginning. The word dragon descends from the ancient Greek drakon, a term originally used for a great serpent. Some guarded sacred places, springs, or treasure. Others appeared as deadly adversaries. The familiar winged, fire-breathing embodiment of evil emerged gradually through later European religion, heraldry, art, and fantasy. Wings, claws, a hoard of gold, definitely not me. Next is the Chinese lóng. So Eastern dragons are basically the good ones?
Careful. That sentence could start 3 academic arguments in one flood. We bring rain and prosperity. Yes. But anger us, and you get catastrophic floods. Auspicious does not mean harmless.
Fair. The lóng is a celestial and water-linked being, traditionally described with 81 carp-like scales, 4 short legs ending in eagle claws, a camel-like head, and deer horns. It is wingless and, unlike the modern Western dragon, is not primarily defined by fire breathing.
Its claws also carried political meaning. In imperial court art, especially under the Ming and Qing, the 5-clawed dragon became closely associated with the emperor, while 4-clawed variants marked lower ranks. Court regulations controlled its use strictly.
Even the English word dragon can be misleading.
Exactly. It carries the baggage of a Western monster, which can obscure the long's auspicious, water-linked nature.
European dragon, no match. Chinese lóng, partial match. The Vietnamese rong is a revered national symbol. Vietnamese people trace their mythological descent from the dragon king Lac Long Quen and the immortal fairy O Ke, binding the creature to water, agriculture, power, ancestry, and Vietnamese identity. Under the Le dynasty, the Vietnamese dragon was often depicted in an especially slender, rhythmic form. A long, undulating serpentine body, a flame-like crest, and a jewel held near its jaws. It was wingless and lacked the heavy crocodilian head common in some later dragon traditions. Modern interpretations sometimes connect the repeated divisions of its body with the 12 months of the agricultural calendar. Scholars continue to debate the balance of Chinese, Indian Naga, and indigenous Southeast Asian influences that shaped the Vietnamese dragon across centuries of temples, court art, religious objects, and everyday craft. Quetzalcoatl is a feathered serpent deity of Mesoamerica, often compared with dragons. It is represented as an immense wingless serpent covered in brilliant feathers, frequently with a plumed crest around the head. It has no limbs, no bat-like wings, and no mammalian body. The deity embodies the union of earth and sky, the serpent below and the bird above. In Aztec creation myth, Quetzalcoatl descended into the underworld to recover the bones of earlier races, then used divine blood to help create humanity. In later traditions, he was also associated with knowledge, priesthood, calendrical order, and writing. One striking visual interpretation reads the god as a fusion of native snakes and the resplendent Quetzal bird. An evocative possibility, though not a settled fact. Vietnamese wrong, partial. Quetzalcoatl, no match. The Naga is a powerful serpent being found across Hindu, Jain, and Buddhist traditions. Nagas may appear with a single cobra hood or several, sometimes crowned with jewels. These semi-divine beings guard subterranean treasure, hidden knowledge, rivers, rainfall, and fertility. In Buddhist tradition, the Naga king Mukalinda coiled around the meditating Buddha and spread his hood to shelter him from a storm. Because of this protective role, Nagas stand at the entrances of temples across South and Southeast Asia, guardians and allies as often as dangers. A guardian, then. Is that something you become, or something you are? 5 forms, and none of them matches me. No shared wings, no shared number of legs, not even shared scales.
Because you are still searching for a species.
Aren't I supposed to be one?
These traditions did not preserve one dragon bloodline. They preserved different roles.
Then show me the roles. If anatomy could not define a dragon, perhaps purpose could. So Kana stopped asking what a dragon looked like and started asking what a dragon was for, what job each culture built the creature to do. If I saw the Mesopotamian Mushushu walking down the street, I would assume pure apocalyptic evil.
Easy mistake, but that is a modern reflex. Despite its terrifying appearance, it functioned as a protective guardian. The ancient Near East did not divide monsters into neat categories of good and evil.
It is quite a chimerical mix. A scaled reptilian body, lion-like forelegs, bird-like hind feet, a horned serpentine head, a long tail, and a snake-like tongue. No wings, no fire.
Its Akkadian name is commonly translated as Furious Snake, and it served as the sacred animal of Marduk. Around 575 BCE, Nebuchadnezzar II displayed it in blue-glazed brick across the Ishtar Gate, presenting Babylon as a city under divine protection.
The apocalyptic dragon is the great red dragon of the Book of Revelation, explicitly identified with Satan. The text gives it 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns, and a tail that sweeps a third of the stars from the sky. Later artists often added enormous wings, helping shape the Western image of a cosmic dragon. Its anatomy is not meant to describe a plausible creature. It is symbolic, monstrous, and deliberately excessive. The imagery is both religious and political. Revelation later connects 7-headed beast imagery with 7 mountains and 7 kings, leading many interpreters to associate it with Roman imperial power, although the identities of those rulers remain debated. This dragon helped cement the monster as an image of absolute cosmic evil in the Western imagination. Mushosu, guardian, not monster. Apocalyptic dragon, pure symbol. Leviathan is the primordial sea monster of Hebrew tradition, representing the terrifying and untamed forces of the deep. It is described as an impossibly powerful creature with impenetrable scales, blazing breath, and a mouth fierce enough to make the surrounding sea boil. Rather than a land animal, it is imagined as a monster of the sea and the forces of primordial chaos. Leviathan shares deep mythological roots with older Canaanite and Ugaritic chaos serpents defeated by a storm or creator deity. In later Jewish eschatology, Leviathan would be slain at the end of days, and its flesh served in a banquet for the righteous. Some medieval Jewish images depict Leviathan as a serpent biting its own tail, visually connecting the beast with the circular form later associated with the Ouroboros. Chaos itself, hopefully not that one. The Ouroboros is dragon-adjacent, a symbol rather than a species. It shows a wingless serpent or dragon curled into a perfect circle, endlessly consuming its own tail. It stands for infinity, cyclical time, destruction, and renewal. One of the earliest known examples appears in a book from the tomb of Tutankhamun, where a circular serpent surrounds and protects the solar deity. Over the centuries, it became central to Greco-Alexandrian alchemy, Gnosticism, and later esoteric traditions. Not even a creature anymore, just a shape that means something. Leviathan, chaos and victory. Ouroboros, not even a creature. The Lernaean Hydra is a chthonic water beast from Greek mythology, famously slain by Heracles during his second labor. It is a gigantic aquatic serpent with multiple heads. Ancient sources disagree on the exact number, and later artists made it increasingly elaborate. The Hydra was nearly impossible to kill. Whenever Heracles severed one head, more appeared in its place. He therefore relied on his nephew Aeolus, who cauterized the neck stumps with fire before they could regenerate. Its blood was so poisonous that Heracles used it to coat his arrows, a decision that eventually contributed to his own death. Later interpreters have treated the Hydra as a metaphor for problems that only multiply when attacked blindly.
Before the archive can identify you, it must answer a much older question.
What is a dragon?
14 forms, deities, monsters, and symbols, all later gathered under one name. Stand before it.
If a dragon means something different everywhere, then how do I ever find out what I am? But dragon stories did not stop changing when ancient religion ended. Language, politics, local pride, heraldry, and eyewitness folklore continued rebuilding the creature. Modern fantasy often separates worms and lindworms by limb count, but historical usage was far less consistent. In Northern European and Germanic traditions, both are enormous, serpent-like dragons that crawl or slither close to the earth. Lindworms are often imagined with 2 clawed forelegs, while worms may have none. Both are typically wingless. They are associated with buried treasure, poison, cursed landscapes, and the world-encircling serpent tradition represented by Jormungandr. The Old English word worm could refer broadly to a serpent, worm, or creeping creature, far less majestic than the sky dragons of East Asia. The most famous example is Fafnir from the Volsunga saga, originally a dwarf who transformed into a dragon-like serpent through his obsession with cursed gold. These earthbound dragons embody greed, corruption, and decay. Language reshaped its anatomy before religion ever did. The Tarasque is a bizarre amphibious chimera from French Catholic folklore. It has a lion-like head, a dark mane, a turtle-like shell covered in spikes, 6 stout legs ending in heavy claws, and a dangerous tail. It has no wings and exactly 6 legs. Medieval tradition claimed it descended from the biblical Leviathan. Once rendered docile, it was killed by the frightened townspeople. Yet the monster later became a symbol of civic identity rather than shame. Local tradition credits King René of Anjou with formalizing a Pentecost procession in 1474, during which a large effigy of the Tarasque was carried through the streets. That festival tradition continues in Tarascon today. A monster survived here because a town decided to carry it, not fear it. They stopped fearing it. They just kept it. The amphitheres is a rare creature of European heraldry. It appears as a legless serpent with a single pair of wings near the head. Those wings may be bat-like or feathered. It often has green scales and a forked tongue, but no legs and no heavy mammalian body. Its conceptual ancestry may be connected with classical accounts of the jaculus, a fast, tree-dwelling serpent said to launch itself through the air. In Renaissance heraldry, noble families adopted winged serpents as symbols of vigilance, speed, and guardianship. Early modern natural histories sometimes treated such creatures as plausible animals rather than pure fantasy. Edward Topsell's 17th century writings included winged serpents among the strange beasts believed to inhabit the wider world. Heraldry did what myth alone never could. It standardized a shape. Finally, the Ljosalfheimr, or clawed worm, of the Alps. It has a stout, snake-like body, 2 short forelegs with claws, and a distinctly feline face. It is much smaller than a conventional dragon, usually described as only a few feet long, with no hind legs and no wings. The creature became a cryptid staple of the Swiss, Austrian, and Bavarian Alps. It was said to leap surprising distances and possess poisonous breath. One widely repeated report dates to the late 18th century. What is most remarkable is that belief in the Ljosalfheimr survived well into the 20th century. Alleged sightings, photographs, and physical remains kept the legend alive, but none produced accepted zoological evidence. It remains suspended between alpine folklore and modern cryptozoology. This one never left folklore. Modern sightings kept a medieval shape alive. People still look for it. Someone still believes it's out there. The dragons survived not because every culture remembered the same creature, but because every generation found a new reason to rebuild it. So my body might resemble pieces humans already feared, but that still would not tell me where I came from.
Biology may explain familiar ingredients. Culture explains what humans built from them. One controversial hypothesis argues that dragons combine predators deeply rooted in primate fear: big cats, raptors, and snakes. But instinct alone cannot explain emperors, sacred rivers, political allegories, civic festivals, or modern cryptids. Biology may have supplied some of the raw material. Culture decided what the creature meant.
None of them is me.
Not yet. The archive has only opened its first file.
So this is not the end of the search.
No, it is your first entry. What humans called a dragon was never one body or one role.
And neither am I.
Which dragon tradition should Kana investigate next? Tell us in the comments and subscribe to Lore Factory. Humans did not do this only with dragons.
They turned animals into gods and monsters. So my search for where I come from is not finished. It has only just been logged as its first entry in this archive. If you want to see where it leads next, hit subscribe and step back into the archive with me. Every creature has a story. We uncover what made it legend.